You do very strong characters in pretty much everything. You have very strong decisions. Do you make those decisions before you start and then kind of come to the set with what you're going to do and then adjust in small ways, or you?
Well, the way I always approach it is this, that I like to have my own ideas completely worked out, so that if a director, I come to find his working method is that he doesn't want to talk to me, that I'm not at a loss. There's nothing worse. I've seen other actors who stand and somebody shouts action and they're just going, I don't know what to do. They need somebody to come and tell them what to do. I never look at a director as somebody who tells me what to do. I look at it as someone who we work together in something, and therefore I need to be responsible too. So I have to bring something to the table and say, I will do it this way. If you never say it, if you keep silent, this is how I'll do it. And I'll give a few different versions, but it wouldn't matter if they said nothing.
Nothing about my life is lucky. Nothing. A lot of grace, a lot of blessings, a lot of divine order, but I don't believe in luck. For me, luck is preparation meeting the moment of opportunity. There is no luck without you being prepared to handle that moment of opportunity.
What have you learned about planning from the military?
One of the things that I think is very interesting, the difference between at least the Air Force and the military at large and private sector, is planning, quote unquote, is something that happens in businesses either once a year, it's sort of your annual strategic whatever, or when something goes wrong, right? We have to have planning sessions. And that's pretty much the only time there's planning, right? In reaction to something or this prescribed annual event. In the military and in the Air Force, they're constantly planning. And they will produce thousands of plans a year, of which only maybe a few hundred will get implemented. And Dwight Eisenhower said a long time ago, and I never understood what he meant until recently, when he said, planning is everything, the plan is nothing. And basically what that means is the plan is irrelevant the minute you try to implement it, because your competition, your enemy, whoever it is, they're not following your plan, and your plan will go wrong almost as soon as it's implemented.
Right.
And it's this constant process of planning, that it's not the plan per se, but it's the process of planning that if something does go wrong, you can react to it. One of the interesting practical applications for this was the housing crisis, the economic crisis, which was the actuaries had figured out that there was a 99% chance of success for this, mortgage-backed security thing. And they thought, oh my God, we're all going to get rich, let's do this thing. And they did, and we all know exactly what happened. The problem is there was no plan for that 1% that happened, which is the housing market collapsed. There was no plan ever developed or thought about if the 1% were to happen. In the military, I can promise you, they would have thought about that opportunity, if that, how would we react if that happens? And panic is what ensued, and nobody knew the answer, and things collapsed, and banks collapsed, and people lost money because there was no plan. And now the planning began, and we're still digging ourselves out of the hole, only because planning was an event and not a process.